An official palace demand for DNA tests on Meghan and Harry's children, yes, actual DNA tests, is rocking the monarchy. Not as gossip, not as idle rumor, but reportedly as a formal internal request from palace advisors themselves. At the center of this chaos, a question few imagined would be asked out loud. Are Archie and Lilibet truly Meghan and Harry's biological children? It sounds outrageous, even offensive. But the palace's move signals that this isn't just another tabloid swirl. Something behind closed doors has snapped, and the crown is no longer staying silent. It started years ago, as whispers. Meghan's baby bump seemed to change size and shape in photos. Footage showed her squatting in heels while heavily pregnant. Some claimed her bump shifted unnaturally beneath her clothing. At the time, it was all brushed off as online cruelty. But the whispers didn't die. They grew. They circulated in hushed tones inside private circles and royal households. No one wanted to confront the implications. Until now. Because this isn't a tweet. It's a formal inquiry. The kind the royal family reserves for moments that risk shaking its very foundation. The request for DNA isn't routine. It's unprecedented. Royal children are protected, not questioned. Yet here we are, watching a monarchy demand scientific proof of lineage. Why? Sources say palace officials quietly re-examined old photos, videos, timelines, everything around Meghan's pregnancy. What they reportedly found wasn't confirmation, but confusion. Records didn't match claims. Footage seemed inconsistent. Hospital details were vague or entirely missing. For a family that documents every detail of royal life, the gaps were impossible to ignore. Something didn't line up, and now the crown wants clarity. Royal births usually come with layers of verification. A named hospital, physician signatures, public statements. Meghan and Harry's firstborn, Archie, arrived under a strange fog. There was no official hospital record under Meghan's name, no attending royal physician statement, and when staff dug deeper, they allegedly found nothing, not even routine maternal paperwork. That silence is now seen not as privacy, but a red flag. When a child is in line for royal inheritance, ambiguity is not allowed. And the palace's silence has broken under the weight of that pressure. Using a surrogate is not the scandal. Countless families choose that path with honor and openness. The issue, sources argue, is the potential cover-up. If Meghan and Harry had been honest, if they'd told the public this was their journey, people might have understood. The world today is more compassionate than it once was. But if they crafted a false narrative, a public performance, a fairy tale pregnancy that wasn't real, that's deception. It's not just personal. It's institutional betrayal, wrapped in the power of image and carefully curated appearances. And this is where the story deepens. Because this isn't just about two parents, it's about bloodlines, about royal legitimacy. The monarchy depends on unbroken lineage. That's how the crown survives. By certainty of birth, clarity of inheritance. If Archie and Lilibet are to be included in the royal future, they must legally and biologically belong. That's what King Charles is now focused on, trimming the institution, protecting the crown, cleaning the image of a monarchy that has weathered abdications, divorces, and now, possibly, deception from within its own blood. Online, the storm has already reached hurricane levels. Social media is full of frame-by-frame analyses of Meghan's baby bump. Clips of her moving, squatting, dancing, all while supposedly in late pregnancy, are being dissected like crime scene evidence. Memes mock the mystery. But beneath the jokes, there's a darker tone, a hunger for answers, a disbelief that has turned into obsession. And now that the palace itself is involved, those online suspicions are gaining terrifying validation. People aren't laughing. They're demanding. And the internet is echoing louder than ever. For years, Meghan and Harry's silence was interpreted as dignity, as a stand against gossip. But that silence has curdled. It now looks strategic, calculated, evasive. They've had years to clarify. They've spoken out about nearly every other scandal. So why not this? The longer they delay, the more people assume they're hiding something. Silence has become its own answer. And for a couple that built their post-royal brand on transparency, this one gap is consuming their entire narrative. A DNA test could shift everything. If it confirms Harry as the father, it won't erase suspicion, but it might stabilize the monarchy's line of succession. It might shield the children from growing up under a cloud. But if the results contradict the official story? If even one piece of paperwork raises questions, it won't just harm Harry and Meghan. It will fracture the institution itself. People will ask, who knew and when? What was covered up and by whom? It's a constitutional mess hiding inside a family drama. Inside royal circles, emotions are already at a boiling point. Prince William is reportedly livid. His fury isn't personal. It's about legacy, about the family's image being burned by speculation. Princess Anne, who's never tolerated nonsense, allegedly called it a disgrace. And King Charles? Heartbroken. He's a father caught between duty and damage. He knows the monarchy cannot afford another scandal, especially not one this intimate, especially not at the very core of what it means to be royal. And now, it's up to Harry and Meghan to stop the bleeding, or face the consequences. The monarchy has made its line clear. No DNA, no titles. The demand isn't symbolic, it's a final call. Titles mean lineage, legacy, rights. If there's any doubt, they will be stripped. It sounds harsh. Maybe it is. But in royal terms, clarity matters more than comfort. Without it, the system collapses. The palace isn't bluffing anymore. What was once quiet is now an ultimatum. It's a test of truth, and whether the Sussexes will finally step into the light and answer it. So what happens now? That's what the world wants to know. Will Meghan and Harry comply, hand over samples, and clear the air? Or will they retreat further behind closed doors, hoping silence will be enough? Because it won't be. The public has shifted. They're no longer cheering, they're watching, and they want resolution. This story is no longer about victimhood or rebellion. It's about trust. And if Harry and Meghan won't speak, the world may decide what to believe without them. The clock is ticking, the crown is waiting, and the truth won't stay buried much longer.